What is up, Last War family? It's your friendly neighborhood Last War guide, Joe Knows. I've got one that I've been meaning to make for you guys for a while now that we're going to go ahead and give a test on today. We're doing a comparison on doing some mixed squads to see what works best in those mixed squads. And we're going to give it a go right now. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just do an option with just all of my missile heroes. So I'm going to put them in place in their normal spots. We're going to go ahead and do those right there. And like so, that looks good. Okay. Add the gorilla back. Make sure we've got this properly in there. And I've got to do one gear swap real quickly. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to remove the all red gear from Miss Fiona. And I'm going to give it to Adam. We're going to add Fiona's back now. And there we go. So now this is going to be a test of running through, and we're going to, run a test to probably run a couple of them. We're not going to win this battle, but the time that we're battling is what matters here. If you look at the top up here in just a moment, you're going to see the clock up here, and that time that it's in place is going to determine whether or not adding in a tank hero, and then we'll try out tank, and then we'll try out a defensive hero from the air squad and just see how much better it does by moving that gear around and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and give it a go. So we're at 1:06 is the total amount of time here. Now remember that missile is beat more easily by the tank squad. This should be a pretty good way to run some tests for yourself on it always. If we go to the damage taken, okay, there we are. So Adam took 12 million there is what he was able to help us with and potentially deflect. All right, now we're going to go back in here. We're going to remove Adam from the lineup. While I'm doing this, please do go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Drop in the comments some other mixed squad options that you'd like to see some videos on in the future. But we're going to go ahead and add in Carly next. Now my Carly is at an exclusive weapon level of 20. Now remember, you're going to have some losses in power on that overall on having a squad be at all the same level. And of course, Carly's not going to get any benefit from the chips, or she's going to get a much lesser benefit, I should say. But let's look and see, does it last longer? So that's 1:02. I would not say it lasts longer. It looks like it was roughly right around the same. But let's go ahead and see how much damage that she was able to accumulate there. So Carly was able to take 11.5 million. She dealt 7.8 million. That was 1:03. Now, the one caveat to running it the way I'm doing it right now that won't necessarily work in the player versus player battles is because this would be technically considered player versus monster. So some of the boosts that you may have set up that are for player versus player will not reflect here. But let's just go ahead and test it out anyways. It's still makes for a fun test overall. And it should still give us a good idea of the power differences. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one next. We're going to pull her out, put him in. 1:02, that lasted less amount of time. And that makes sense, right? Because air is what's going to do the best against tank. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is probably almost certainly not going to work out properly the way that we would want it, but what we're going to do is we're going to actually remove McGregor. We're going to add Carly in, and we're going to remove Murphy. What we're going to do now is we're going to double up on the air defense and see what happens here. So I'm going to go now and I'm going to add Mr. Lucius. All right, so now we're going to run that test. And this is against tank, so that's what you're kind of looking at is does this work better against tank than our other model does? So we still have all of our attack heroes as missile heroes, but we're bouncing out and trying out and seeing and see this is the bonuses that you're losing here. So I dropped from a 20% bonus boost to a 15% when we had 4 of the same kind, and now it's 3 and 2. That's going to drop us down to 10%. So we're losing 20% boost right there. That's a pretty big jump down, and yeah, we're down to 59 seconds. So that is not going to be beneficial to do it that way. So that didn't help, but let's go ahead and run the next test. All right. We're going to get him on out. We're going to leave Carly in for now. But what we're going to do this time is we're going to remove Fiona from the options here. And we're going to leave Carly up front, and we're going to try 3 defensive heroes. I've seen this formation from a couple of people recently. 3 defensive heroes, with one of which being on the back. And since he's on the back, we're going to make him have the least amount of gear as well. And so we're going to go back in here now and run it again. I believe the time to beat right now is 1 minute and 3 seconds. So we're going to pull back here, boom, boom, remove her. We're going to add in Adam back into it. Minute 13, that's actually working a lot better. It's not going to win still, but this is our best formation yet against a squad that is stronger than us, at least on paper. Now remember that we are getting Adam is giving us a boost to our defense. Um, to the front row heroes, he's going to give them extra boost because of his skills that he has. And also remember that I have not yet set up my Adam's exclusive weapon, so that is going to be an impact as well. Now, as you can see here, we're not going to be making as much damage. That's the problem you have, is that when you've got 3 defensive heroes, you're not doing as much damage. But we're able to take on a lot more damage, which is interesting. There's a chance we may win this battle here, actually. It shouldn't work, but it's going to be closer, way closer than I was expecting. Our problem person is probably going to be right up there in the front. It looks like we're not getting enough damage yet. We're done, but man, that was a lot better showing than we've had in the past on these for sure. Um, Way better than the other battles so far. All right, let's go ahead and look at it. Damage taken. Defensively, we were able to get a lot more damage taken. Now we're going to try one more option here. We're going to move Adam. We're going to move Swift into the safest spot. We're going to put our hero Tesla here, and we're going to put Adam right here and give it a go again. 1:11, that's a little bit less time. 1:13, I believe, is what it was a few seconds ago. Now, the problem you run into when you do this hero swap over here is that you're not getting a good enough attack per se on it, and that's what kind of hurts sometimes. It is nice to have that defensive hero overtaking this side over here, and I'm going to do a screenshot so you can see it. This side tends to take the most damage in most battles, but you're also not able to dish out quite as much damage. And this is in more traditional formations that you're going to see in that the computer does, but obviously different player versus player can have all kinds of different formations that they may use. But you see here, unlike last time, I'm actually going to outlast his gorilla, which is not something I was able to do previously. And we got a shot here, but I think once we lose that defensive hero, it's probably going to hurt us. It's going to make a major impact that we're going to lose on. And we're really just, I tell you that when he gets his exclusive weapon, it's probably going to be a lot because yeah, those energy balls that are coming from I'm blanking on his name right now. I'll pull it up and see here. Okay, yep. The energy balls make those just really do a lot of damage to missile, I've noticed. All right, so now we're going to try one more thing here real quickly on this same process. So we're going to now we're going to leave McGregor. No, actually, I'm not going to leave McGregor equipped. I'm going to pull him out, and we're going to leave Carly in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to run an all. We're going to run a a test here with a mostly air squad and see what that does. Okay. Yep, looks good so far. And then what we are going to do is we're going to remove. Actually, let's just go ahead and run this test first. Let me actually make one change. We're going to remove some from Morrison. All right, since we do know that this is my strongest squad is my missiles, so that's why I was testing everything with it as the basis there. But let's go ahead and try out. Let me swap right here to air, but let's try out an air squad, an all air squad to begin with, obviously, and then we're going to pivot from that all air squad, and we're going to test out. And we're going to do that here. We're going to pivot from that all air squad, and then we're going to test out afterwards. We're going to run a giving those 3 defensive heroes here in just a moment. All right, a minute 07 is not bad. Now, I don't have any exclusive weapons to level 30 on these, and in fact, I have 2 exclusive weapons that haven't opened yet on my air. So that could be a deciding factor to hurt us here. And then what we're going to do after this is we're going to run and test out removing Morrison, adding in McGregor on the back row. And then after we're done with that option, that test, we're going to try using Murphy on the back row and see if we get some good results there. Really having a hard time doing a lot of damage to Williams here. Williams is really giving us a hard time. He's really protecting that back row too. Yeah, we're at our wits' end on it, and that's going to be it for that one. All right, I'm going to try just one more test on this formation since we've got. I use the same formation, but I'm going to put him in the safest spot. And I am going to move, because Williams is giving us so much trouble, I'm going to try to see if I can get Diva to attack him and maybe give us better results here. And not really a minute 03 again. Where you could really shine potentially on this, and I'm going to show you guys this in a second. I don't have her skill set high enough for her to be impactful enough for me, but someone who does might see good results from Scarlet in a tank scenario where she's a third tank. You're giving up some attack when you do this, obviously, and that's the problem that you have with it is that you're going to give up some of your attack. But she could she could be that difference maker for you. Let's look at that damage taken. Okay, so because you could run with an all tank and you wouldn't lose anything by doing a mixed squad. But let's go ahead real quickly and let's go ahead and test out. McGregor is going to have to go back row, so we're going to remove Morrison. McGregor will have to go back row because he is a missile hero that will lose power to the tank. And then for Murphy, I'll try him on the front row. We'll test him out on front row. We're going to put McGregor here. Minute 13, that defensive formation seems to be working decently on these mixed squads. I don't think a minute 13 is going to be enough to beat it, but this is interesting to see that minute 13 kick up on all three of the options we've ran so far on that three defensive heroes. It's going to be a good thing to test out. I would say a good place to test stuff like this is inside of a winter storm, not desert storm, because desert storm you only get one opportunity. Winter storm, you can run that back as many times as you want. So not a bad place to run some testing. McGregor did die off a little bit faster than I would have liked for him to. We are lasting a bit longer, but so are they. So we have not killed as much. So we've lost some attack for sure in this scenario. And one more idea I'm going to try. It was not crossing my mind until just now, but let's go ahead, and I don't think this is going to work, but let's give it a go. We're going to go with her up front, boom, boom, and see what happens. Minute 13 again. Really just trying to get some real impact on Williams and see if we can get some damage done on him. Because he is such a problem. Again, that minute 13 is probably not going to work out that well for us. And the issue with what I'm doing here is that we're losing the attack on the gorilla. Their gorilla is going to outlast ours most likely in this scenario. I'm seeing Williams taking on more damage this time, which is good. Those energy balls just absolutely do massive damage. All right, so we just lost McGregor. Yes, McGregor. Just lost our gorilla. They still, and then that's going to be pretty much it. It looks like that's really when it's going to start going downhill after that. Yeah, we're lasting longer, but I don't know that we're doing better with the triple defensive heroes. When we look at it, just actually looking at the battle, it's hard to say. All right, so let's go ahead now. Let's remove McGregor. Let's get him out of there. And we're going to do this a little bit different because we're going to put Mr. Lucius on the back row. So we're going to go ahead and go here. Then we're going to go Lucius on the back. We're going to give this another go here. Let's see what happens. Right. So we're going to go this formation here. So Carly. Actually, I want to see the two Murphys face off against each other. Let's do it that way. And we're going to go here and here. Let's see what happens here. A minute 10. So on this one, this formation may be the problem. I don't know. McGregor taking on some pain here. Let's go and let's see what happens. The gorilla's really killing mine this time. Massive outlast on the gorilla there. That hurts. Okay, that didn't work out. All right, this is going to be the last test run for the air, and then I've got a tank one I want to do. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to swap it up again. Boom, boom. I'm actually going to do a little bit different here. We're going to go here, here, here. All right, let's see what happens. 103, I don't love that. Yeah, that didn't do any better. All right, let's go on and let's do one more test. We're gonna run our tank through, see what happens. And here we go. I am trying to avoid using any players that like a Mason that does have zombie attack because I don't want that to impact what we're trying to accomplish here, which is to attack, to see what the attack difference would look like on it. So we're going to continue to do so. Do have one difference I'd like to make here. I do want Stetman to have a little bit more power than Marshall for now. All right, all looks good. And we're going to throw Miss Carly into the same lineup, see what happens. Oh, no, sorry, not Carly. I didn't mean to say Carly. Scarlet. See, with that, those three defensive heroes, how does that work out? All right, put him in the safest spot. Boom, boom. Let's see what we got going on here. Only 44 seconds. That is not good. And I maybe should have matched up some formation here. Something is not working out right, though. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I see what I did wrong. I still had the air chip on. That's what was making it. I was like, what is making this so bad? Still only 54 seconds, so that's not great at all. All right, now let's go ahead and do our. Yeah, just want to look 52 seconds that time, so roughly around the same. All right, now we're going to remove, and this is going to be very wild because this is really, you're really getting to where you only have one attack hero by doing what I'm about to do right now, but we're going to remove that. We're going to add in Miss Scarlet. Her skills are only at level 10, so this is probably not going to work out very well, but I just wanted to test it out and see. So she's the one that doesn't have any zombie attack out of the formerly purple heroes. So let's just see what happens. All right, we're going to remove him, add her in, see what happens here. 55 seconds. It actually did. We are getting a longer last here, but I think it's going to be a similar situation to where they're lasting longer as well. And we're not going to see better results per se. I do think this is probably the one spot where you could see a positive from this is with if you got Scarlet maxed out on her skill, you could have a very effective defensive formation potentially with her involved because she's got such good buffs along with the other buffs. That could be a positive. Um, but man, you just are not, you don't really want Marshall out. Uh, let's try. I told you guys I wasn't going to try one more, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and see what happens if we remove Marshall. I don't think this is going to work out well. But it does hurt a lot to not have another attack hero. Like Kimberly be basically by herself as an attack hero. So let's just give it a go and see what happens. Oh, actually, I got to do this real quickly. Sorry, guys. I am up from my training buff, so I need to do that real quickly. There we go. All right, let's run this final test. 7 seconds, so it is a better. It's crazy enough. It is a longer last. Um, Still, I don't think a very effective attack, not from my side at least. And I am tank is my worst squad, so that is a big part of it. But that's not bad. Stepman with 37 million in attack, Kimberly with 32. You're getting that defensive buff, and we're getting a lot of defense on that. I don't hate that. Maybe it's the Marshall removal that would work in that scenario. A lot of things to test out, guys. Though we ran a lot of different options in here for you to just kind of look at it and see what you think. Remember her skills that she's got on here is just going to increase this hero's defense during the battle and enhance the defense of one adjacent unit. So that's what that circle was going around Stetman. And then you got reduced damage taken by this hero and one adjacent hero unit. Let's see if it'll let you watch it on it. No, it's not doing it on the adjacent hero. That's okay. But I don't have her maxed out any longer. I had her at one point. I think she's only a 4-star right now. So that's the other part of it too. But she could be very effective for some of you guys that have her higher for sure. That's gonna be it for this one. I hope this was helpful today. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Joe Knows from Last Word Tips and Tricks on YouTube signing out.